How's it going, everyone? Bass here. So now that day 7 of Packers training camp is officially over, let's recap everything and go over some of the takeaways from today's practice. Now, today was more of a jog-through practice following yesterday's practice in full pads, high intensity. It was very light, so not much to talk about today. It was only an hour and 24-minute practice, and it also was closed and moved indoors to the Don Hudson Center due to thunderstorms. But if you do want more Packers news analysis and updates, including all of the training camp coverage from highlights to recaps such as this video, did just post the highlights from earlier today. Not that many to go over, but nonetheless, if you want to watch it, click the link right above. Make sure to go down, click the subscribe button, and turn on notifications to not miss any of these videos. So both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst spoke this morning. Usually it is just Matt LaFleur. Gut did speak the first day, but he spoke again today. So let's go over what they said earlier this morning. First, let's go over Brian Gutekunst. And when asked about Amari Rodgers, he said, quote, "I'm excited for him. Rodgers is going to have opportunities this season to make an impact on both offense and special teams, and I expect him to." So as I've been saying all offseason, Amari Rodgers is a roster lock. There is no way Brian Gutekunst is cutting Amari Rodgers this year. Some people have been saying, oh, well, he's a bust. And the dude had 8 targets last year. Just because he didn't perform well on special teams doesn't mean he can't be a good player on offense and special teams in the future. He dropped a lot of weight this year. He looks faster this year and more dynamic. And clearly, Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, and wide receiver coach Jason Vrabel believe in him, so you should too. Gut then joked that he'd like to put Rashawn Gary in bubble wrap and save him for the regular season. He said, quote, "He has all the physical skills and knowing what's going to happen before it happens are coming together. He's wrecking practice." So it's safe to say Rashawn Gary and some of the other starters will definitely not be playing this preseason. Then he was asked about rookie Zach Tom on if he should keep him in one spot or move him around like they have been doing, and he said, quote, "It's a credit to Zach. He's a smart guy. We like the versatility of our offensive linemen." And that's exactly what I've been saying since they drafted Zach Tom in the 4th round there. He is an extremely versatile offensive lineman and can pretty much, I think, play all 5 positions. Moving on to Matt LaFleur, he said Jaire Alexander was a little tight yesterday, hence his absence from 1v1s and team drills. They're trying to get him on the field for 100% family night on Friday, and he was present during today's practice. Matt LaFleur was then asked about Jordan Love's extremely impressive practice yesterday, and he said, quote, "One of his best practices we've seen in 3 years. He made some big-time throws with pressure in his face." So it's really nice to see the development of Jordan Love in year 3. He's kind of had 2 clouded years with COVID and no preseason 2 years ago and all that. He hasn't really had a real training camp preseason all the way through. So it's really nice to finally get to see this. Hopefully he gets a lot of playtime this preseason. Matt LaFleur started a joke and said the jugs machine was absolutely horrible yesterday and they need a new one. And I think they did get a new one because it was a lot better today. He said, quote, "I've never seen anything like that. That was ridiculous. It was awful. You couldn't get the ball to turn over. It was damn near impossible to catch." So that explains all the unfielded and muffed punts yesterday. I don't think it was the players' fault. Supposedly the jugs machine was going wild. So I'm glad they got that under the control because the Packers special team does not need a wild jugs machine to go along with the issues they had last year. As for injury updates, there are 2 new additions to the injury list. First of which is running back Patrick Taylor with a groin injury and does not bode well for him if he's out for a long period of time. Tyler Goodson has been practicing very well and kind of, stealing that 3rd running back spot. And then wide receiver Osiris Mitchell with a quad injury. And as I mentioned, Jaire Alexander did practice in full today during the entire practice, although it was a jog through, so it wasn't too strenuous on him, but he was there the entire time. Moving on to some of the takeaways, starting with the offense. The offensive line moved back to that first unit. Yosh Nijman left tackle, John Runyon left guard, Josh Myers center, Jake Hansen right guard, Royce Newman right tackle, and then Zach Tom got more reps at left tackle number 2. And the only other offensive takeaways for today was the Packers did an end-of-game rehearsal at jog speed at the end, including a hook and ladder play from Randall Cobb to Sammy Watkins. I would love to see that in game. Not that I want the Packers to be down with 5 seconds left and have to pitch the ball around, but I would still love to see that in some way, shape, or form. And then they finished with a Hail Mary to Allen Lazard, motioning from the backfield to the left and then running all the way across to the right where Aaron Rodgers threw him a 40-yard pass that was completed. Now, it was uncontested, but it seems like Allen Lazard is their new Hail Mary guy. And a reason why they do these end-of-game rehearsals, even if it is at half speed, Torrey took a lateral from Danny Davis and he slid down in the playfield with 1 second left like he was still in college, because if you slide down after a first down, the clock stops. Not the case in the NFL, and Adam Stenavich made that very known. You either score or you get out of bounds. So these are little learning experience for rookies. Very, very good practice. As for the defense, since it is a walkthrough, the defense is supposed to allow the offense to complete every single pass, so there's really nothing to talk about for the defense. Only one little tidbit here. Devondre Campbell dropped into coverage on one of the plays and batted away a pass from Aaron Rodgers to Tyler Davis. Got a smile out of Aaron Rodgers, so at least they're having fun out there. Defense did really, really well yesterday, so they got to let the offense complete some passes. And then as for special teams, the kick returners today were Rico Gafford, Amari Rogers, Tyler Goodson, and Romeo Dobbs. Rico Gafford has been kick returner number 1 thus far in camp and really could be his ticket to the 53. Among other things, he's been playing gunner, playing pretty decent at cornerback, from a transition wide receiver to cornerback. And of course, he chose number 37, just like classic Sammy Shields, wide receiver turned cornerback. And then seeing Goodson out there is definitely intriguing. That could also be a ticket for him to make the 53. I think he's been playing really well, and I think he will make this roster. The practice will ramp up a little bit tomorrow when the pads come back on. Family night is Friday. I will be streaming starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Practice warm-ups for family night start at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then the full practice starts at 8:30 Eastern. So make sure to come on by and hang out. But those are all the takeaways I have from day 7 of Packers training camp. Like I said, a very light, short, jog-through type of practice, so not much to go over today, but nonetheless, that's what I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. As always, go Pack Go.